If you just want to know how to do a clean, simple magnetization on a 40K model, then this video is for you. Let's check it out. So how is it that I do multiple magnetizations on 40K models such as this one and get me the most results and options for things like a captain, or if I just want to do one arm on another infantry or character? What's my method for doing that quickly? Well, let me not waste a bunch of time talking about it. Let's just show you guys. And just to start off, I'll show you a list of the items you will need. Super glue, gel or liquid, your choice on the brand. I just use this brand. A hobby pin vise, which is something you can find at most hobby stores. And this is a basic metal one, and it fits a lot of different drill bits. A drill bit that will fit the pin vise and that matches the diameter of the magnets that you will use. This is one from a Dremel tool set. Again, hardware stores, hobby stores, stuff like that you can find for these. You need rare earth disc magnets. I normally use either what equates to a 3mm by 1mm or a 3mm by 2mm disc rare earth magnet. You can get that from multiple sources, some hobby stores, online. Just look for rare earth magnets and look for disc. You need some type of tool to make a starting point on your parts. I use this, which is a pick type tool. This one comes with a cheap hobby file set, so you can try that. Some people use the blade of the hobby knife. I don't like to do that because I often have blade tips break. I'm going to use this Primaris Lieutenant torso that I've already done a quick magnet job on the right arm for, and you can see that's the goal that we're going for. So with that in mind, let's get to it. I'm going to also use this plasma pistol arm, and we'll take a look there. So what you want is to take one of these disc magnets and insert it into an arm for a body like this, like a Space Marine. You'll get your disc, and you will look for the right center spot that you need it based on also the attachment that you want. I try to get mine as central as possible to make them as universal as possible, and the kits normally promote that pretty well with how they're designed. So yeah, usually no big deal there. I'm gonna make sure that we have the discs for the size model that we want. For most Space Marines, I've always found 3mm by 1mm or 3mm by 2mm. I've switched over to the 2mm for a lot of cases because it just works better for more situations and it's a stronger hold. For the 3mm diameter magnets, this 1/8 Dremel bit seems to work the best. So something like this is what you're gonna try to use. So I've got the correct drill bit in my pin vise. I'm gonna get this marking tool. I'm gonna find the center point. And then I'm gonna make some light pressure and a mark. Should be able to see the mark on camera. So looking for the center point. Just making sure I have it where I want it. Then we'll start to drill. So I'll place the tip of the drill on that point and begin using light drill pressure and just spinning. Now I'm looking to make sure that I'm still in the center, and I'm not. It's too far that way. So I want to angle it, drill a little bit, and then come back. Check it. It's better. Gonna adjust it a little bit more and then drill straight in. Just gonna use light pressure and check my work as I go. Better to drill a little bit and then have to come back in. You don't want to drill too far if you don't have to. I do expect though, on a model like this, we'll drill all the way through the body. That's okay. That's why you have, one of the reasons you have the thicker magnet. Okay, yeah, so we drilled all the way through as I thought, but that's okay. We have a thicker magnet and it'll be fine. Now looking on the opposite side, this arm happens to have a recess in it where you can actually start your drill. You don't have to use the other tool. Some will, some won't. So I'm just gonna go off of that, and it's too far over. I want it to come this way. So then instead of drilling flat, I'm gonna drill in the angle of the arm because that's the way I wanna go. Doing that by feel, as it feels like I'm far enough over and I've centered that hole better. So again, just doing a little at a time and then checking my depth. I'll check my depth by using my magnet. I'll actually take that, set it in, and see how far I have left to go. So just a little over halfway. Okay. And there we are. Gone just enough to be flush. So I'm gonna use the toothbrush, clean the stuff off. So now what I like to do really quickly is use my sanding stick. This is 400 grit, and I want to just make sure that I'm clean and flush really quickly. I don't need to do anything major here. We'll do it over here too. Okay. And now a thing I like to do is I like to take a previous model that I've magnetized and use its polarity to mark for my new model. And so I will test this to see which side it wants to magnetize to. So we know this direction is, if I stick the magnet in the body that way, it'll magnetize to all my arms. Because this model already had one, I can do it to this guy on this side as well. And you can see that's the direction it's going to go into the arm, like it did for that one. But it'll just be on this side. Okay, I'm going to use the liquid super glue because this is just what I'm used to using right now. You can use gel, you can use a brush, but you basically want to get some on the inside of that hole, mostly on the inside. And then I know that my thinner magnets were on the side that I want facing out, so this is good. I've just got my stack. I'll put it in there like that. Get it as close as I can to flush without grabbing the second one. That's the goal. And I'm gonna have to hold it there for a second because it's gotta get strong enough that I can let the magnets go before I use my Insta-set. I'm just gonna finalize that position a little bit as it's starting to set. All right, I'm gonna use my Insta-set. What I'll do is take the lid off instead of spraying, and I'll drop some on. That way you don't have it just everywhere when you spray on something small. Okay, and so now we are sitting there. I'm gonna take my sanding and just smooth that. All right, and there we are. It's sitting pretty good. It's a little bit proud of that surface. Not quite as flush as this one is gonna be, but our arm is gonna let us take care of that. So now I know that this magnet is set. I'm gonna pop that on there, and then I don't want these 2x3s. I've just been using them to help me hold on to this stack of magnets. So I'm gonna take those off, and I'm going to use this to set the second one. Now, because my magnet is just a little bit high on this side, I can see that this one is still just a little bit high. So I'm gonna go back in with this and take just a tiny bit more out. And did that with pretty light pressure, so I don't wanna take too much out there. And now we're gonna sink it, and it's just a little bit further in. It's just a little bit better, so it's deeper. And that will make this particular piece sit just right. All right, so we got our super glue back out. I'm gonna add some into here. Now, because this is not hollow all the way through and it's more like a cup, you don't need to add a ton, because when you push it in there, it's gonna try to come back out. Just gonna use that to make sure it's all around the sides. And I'm gonna get this on just like that. I'm gonna maneuver it a little bit just while it's needing to set. I'll take it off that. And if you slide them with your finger, you can generally keep from maneuvering that magnet too much. Now I'm going to use something that is not magnetic, like the end of my sanding stick. I'm going to make sure that's sitting in there, a little bit of pressure. I'm going to add that Insta-set just to make my time faster, even faster. I'm going to wipe that clean. A little bit of tissue. Tissue's good to have. Now I'm going to check that piece, and I'm going to smooth it here. Use that toothbrush, and that is good. Take that, stick it on, and there you've got it. One power fist and plasma pistol, Primaris Lieutenant, ready to go. And that is a good bond. Those 3mm by 2mm magnets are really good for Space Marine arms. So check those out, disc magnets. You can find those anywhere you like. And also, just to point out, we've got this model is able to carry that. He's also able to carry this Power Fist. This guy is able to carry Power Fist and also a hammer. So that is it, y'all. Hope you found it helpful. Bye for now.